It's finally time for me to tell you guys about my birth story. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Halle. I gave birth to my daughter Magnolia on May 31st of this year, and I didn't get a birth vlog because of everything that was happening. I could only have one person in the room, and originally my sisters and my mom were going to come and help us get pictures and videos and stuff, but that didn't happen. So I'm just going to be telling you guys today about my birth story, how it went, what happened, and I asked on my Instagram some questions you guys wanted me to answer, and so I have a list right here, and I just want to make sure I incorporate them into the story. I'm just going to kind of go through what happened and tell you guys how it went and stuff. So if you guys like content like this, I am 100% a mommy vlogger, so make sure you hit the subscribe button down below for all things mom from a first time young mom. So let's just get into it. So on May 30th, I went into labor, and that morning I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, which if you guys know me, that is definitely not my regular. I will sleep until 10 or 11 if allowed to, so waking up at 5:30 was super weird. I was also very, very awake. And by this I mean I woke up at 5:30, I had so much anxiety, I was like, I have to get the entire house clean today. And so I woke up, I started cleaning, and at 7, I woke up my boyfriend, and I was like, okay, we have to get up, we have to clean the whole house. My due date was May 29th. I was convinced I was going to go into labor at any second. If you guys didn't know, my due date was May 29th, so on the 30th, I was past my due date, I was ready to have a baby. So I woke up, we cleaned the whole house, and then I was like, okay, let's go on a walk, let's get this baby out. So we went on a walk, and I actually took a picture when we were walking outside and sent it to my mom of how swollen my hands were. I'll make sure I put a picture on the screen for you guys. But I was convinced that my hands could not be this swollen and I was not gonna have a baby soon. One of my biggest pregnancy things that happened was my hands grew so big. But anyways, we went walking, we came back, and I still was having no symptoms of labor at all. We kind of hung around the house because we had had a really busy day, cleaning, walking, all that stuff. So then I thought I went into labor. I was getting ready to get in the shower and I thought my water broke. It turns out it didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my mind was just like, I'm so tired of being pregnant, your water's breaking. I thought my water broke. I really did. So I got in the shower, took a shower. I got out and I was like, did my water break? Should I tell Kyle? Should we go to the hospital? Should I just sit here? Because the last thing I wanted was to be one of those first time moms who was like, I spent 24 hours in the hospital with my first baby. I did not want to be that person. I did not want to be in labor for a full day. So I was like, okay, if it didn't actually break, I don't want to go. So when I got out of the shower, I got dressed. I kind of debated it. I started to do my makeup, and Kyle had just laid down for a nap, so I felt horrible. But I went in there and I told him, I was like, will you go put the suitcase in the car? And he was like, why? He's like, are you having contractions? I was like, no. And he was like, so why are we gonna go? And I was like, well, I think my water broke. And he's like, what do you mean you think your water broke? I'm like, I think it broke, but I've never had a baby. So I'm so sorry about this fly flying around. If you guys see it, I don't have a fly swatter in here, so I don't know how to kill it. I don't know how to get it out, so ignore that. He put the suitcase in the car, and I texted my mom and I was like, I think we're going to the hospital. I think my water broke. And I was having some pain in my back, and I later found out that my contractions were all in my back. I don't remember having any contractions in my stomach area at all, but my back hurt so bad before we went. And I didn't think those were contractions because throughout my pregnancy, my back kind of hurt a lot anyways. So I didn't really know that's what was happening. So before we went to the hospital, I told Kyle, I was like, I have to eat something because they're not going to let me eat once I'm there. So we went to Chick-fil-A. I ordered some food, and then we drove to the hospital parking lot. I ate my food. I texted my mom that we were there. And guys, I procrastinated for so long. I did not want to go into the hospital because at this point I felt like I was making the whole thing up in my head because I really wasn't feeling that bad. I was just having some pain in my back, but it wasn't unbearable. It just kind of was uncomfortable. And it did hurt really bad, but not worse than the back pain I had the past few weeks in my pregnancy. So I was like, if my water didn't break, we're literally here for no reason. So after debating and calling my mom, and she was like, you can't just sit in the parking lot forever, you have to go in. So we went in, we got checked in. oh my gosh, I almost forgot about this part. We didn't go in the right place. So since everything was like happening when I was in labor, like all the stuff in the world, some of the doors were open, some of the doors weren't open. My doctor wasn't very good about telling me like where we were supposed to go in this hospital, what door we were supposed to go into, or any of that stuff. If you guys watch any videos on my pregnancy playlist, I did not have a very good doctor. I had a couple different ones. It just wasn't a good experience. So we ended up finding this person who was outside like taking a break, and we're like, how do we get into this hospital? And they like showed us where to go, and then we went in the wrong door, and then this really nice person like led us to the place we needed to be. So thank you for that person. Guys, it's always good to be a nice person. That person literally saved us. Anyways, so then after we got into the hospital, we got into my room, they had me change into a hospital gown, and they checked to see if my water broke because I told them I was there because my water broke. They checked to see if my water broke. They were like, sweetheart, your water didn't break. You're still only like a 1 dilated and 90% effaced, which is what I had been the day prior at my 40-week checkup appointment. So literally nothing had changed. But they were like, since you're overdue, like we'll keep you here. You can walk around for an hour. They put this thing on my belly. They're like, we'll monitor you. And if you become any more dilated, like we'll keep you. This was the worst part about my entire labor and delivery experience. They told us if I didn't become more dilated, like I was gonna have to go home. And I was like, I do not want to be pregnant anymore. So they put this thing on my belly. I had to walk around the hospital for an hour. But since like everything was happening in the world, we only had like this one hallway we could continuously walk up and down for a full hour. And this is when I started to have like actual contractions. But again, they were in my back. Kyle walked with me, so we walked around for a while. I would have to stop every once in a while because like my back was hurting to where it was like taking my breath away, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so annoying. Like that's how I felt. And so then we like went back into the room and they checked me and they were like, okay, you're not any more dilated. We're gonna keep you in here for a little bit and monitor your stomach. So they monitored my stomach for a while and they like let me get up to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. Something happened where they were like, your baby's heartbeat dropped, or like something with my heartbeat, or something with a heartbeat. They were like, they said usually if this happens, like we'll just send you home, but since you're overdue, we're just gonna go ahead and keep you. And I was like, okay, good. Guys, I literally have no idea what happened. They told me it wasn't serious. I think they just saw that I did not want to be pregnant anymore, so they kept me. So after that, I was still having like really bad contractions in my back. Still, again, nothing. I never the entire time I was there had pain in my stomach. It was always my back. So after that, they changed me into a different room, and this was gonna be like my delivery room. And they told me, they're like, you can get an epidural now or you can wait. I was like, why would I wait? If I can have it the entire time, I want it now. So by this time, it was about 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I forgot to mention, we got to the hospital at about 8:30. That's when we got there. So after like getting checked in, walking around, all of this stuff, it was now about 12. They got the guy in to give me my epidural. They put it in my back. Getting the epidural was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. They gave it to me and they were like, okay, you guys can just hang out, go to sleep. We're gonna come check on you like every once in a while. And I was like, okay. And they were like, since this is your first baby, you're probably not gonna have her till about noon tomorrow. And I was like, what? So they were like, okay, we're just gonna let you sleep. We're gonna check on you every once in a while. Like it's gonna be like a while before you have her. I know they were doing their job, but I wish they would have said, don't go to sleep. We're gonna come in here all the time to check on you. What they were having me do was like roll on one side, and I had to like put my leg up on like this shelf thing. I don't really know. And then they would have me roll over to the other side and put this leg on like a shelf thing so that my legs were like kind of like wider open to like help her drop or whatever. And so we just kind of did this throughout the night. Like after they gave me the epidural, I took a picture at 1:45, and this was kind of when they were telling us we could go to sleep. They were checking on me. This was like when everything really started going, was about 1:45. And they came in at probably like 5:30, 5:45, and they were like, okay, you're 10 centimeters dilated, like it's time to push. I had an anxiety attack, not because I was scared to like push or scared to have a baby. When they said that, like 5 nurses came in and all this stuff, and like it was so many people, and I just like started crying. I was like, what is going on? Like, why are all these people here? But they were just doing their job and stuff. But then they told me, they're like, okay, you're ready to push, but your doctor's not here. I was like, what? Like, she's ready. And so my doctor that I had wasn't on call that night. So I had to get like a doctor that was on call. So I had never seen this doctor before. And so at this point in my pregnancy, this is like my 3rd or 4th doctor. And so I was like, okay, like, when is she gonna be here? And they're like, okay, we just called her. They're like, we did not think that you were gonna like dilate this quickly and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I am. Like, I wanna push. And at this point, this was when I started to feel like a little bit more pain again, because like she was literally like ready to come out. So I was having so much pressure. I wouldn't even describe it as pain. It was just severe pressure on like my downstairs area. And they were like, do not push. They're like, no matter how bad you want to, do not push. And I was like, okay. So I'm just like sitting here with my legs open, and they're like, we can see your baby's head. Like, she has so much hair. They're like, do you want to touch it? And I was like, no, I don't want to touch her head. Like, I want her to get out of me. And so we just kind of waited. We waited there, and my baby was like ready to come out. And finally the doctor got there and they told me to push. I pushed, I think it was for less than 5 minutes, and it was 3 times, and she was born. So that part of the pregnancy was not hard. It was not painful. I did not scream like people do in movies. Honestly, like, I just pushed and she came out. It was not that bad. Honestly, the worst part was the walking in the halls and the waiting and them telling us we could sleep and then coming in every like 10 to 15 minutes. That was annoying. So after she was born, it was really great. She was like way slimier than I thought she was gonna be. They like put her on my chest so we could do skin to skin. The nurses were really awesome. They took a family picture for us because we didn't have anybody else there to do that. And they like weighed her and all this stuff. And after I was there for about an hour, after she was born, they asked me what I wanted for breakfast. And I have seen so many people talk about how amazing the meal is after they give birth. Okay, well, Kyle and I weren't allowed to go anywhere. Our families weren't allowed to bring us food. So my first meal after I had a baby was hospital food. And hospital food is as bad as they say it is. It just has no flavor. Like, it's so bland. I feel like I could have ordered anything on the face of the planet and it would have tasted the same. But I ordered pancakes and syrup, and I wanted a hot tea so bad. While I was pregnant, that was my go-to. I always wanted hot tea. Well, I got my hot tea. It was not the same brand I used, so I was really disappointed. I don't know why I expected it to be the brand of tea I used. I don't know. But syrup was not a good choice because I was so sticky. Like, I was like trying to open the packets, put it on my pancakes, trying to eat it. I ended up having syrup. Like, I literally ate like I was a toddler. I really embarrassedly asked the nurse, I was like, can I have like a baby wipe or a wet wipe or something? I was like, I have syrup literally all over me. And so she helped me get cleaned up and all of that. And so we stayed in there for a little bit, but not very long. And then I had to transfer to another room. This was our 3rd room since being there. And we got transferred to like the postpartum recovery room. Oh, I forgot to mention, I got my epidural at about 1 o'clock, 1:30. And then I had her at 6:13 in the morning. So not a very long period of time. From the time we got there to the time I had her, it was like less than, I don't know, we got there at like 8:30 and I had her at 6:13. You guys do the math. We moved to the postpartum room and we just kind of got settled. We stayed in there through the night and then through the next day. They made us like stay like a full day and stuff, which was fine because they like wanted to check on us and everything. But Kyle and I got a little claustrophobic because we couldn't really leave. We couldn't really do anything. We couldn't go get food. If you guys have a pandemic pregnancy and you guys are about to have a baby, bring all the snacks because you're gonna want them. So we just kind of hung out in there. We took care of our baby. And yeah, it was really awesome. I'm very sad our family couldn't be there to experience it with us, but it was a really special time just to experience this with my baby and my baby's dad. It was very sweet. It was some together time for us, but my labor and delivery experience was way better than any of my doctor's appointments I had had. I was not somebody who liked being pregnant. I did not like it at all. I would go through labor and delivery like 10 more times if it meant I never had to be pregnant again, but I could have more babies. I know that sounds so bad. It's just, it was so much quicker than like the 9 months, if that makes any sense. But Just trying to be honest and raw on my channel, don't want to hide anything. We had her, it was not that bad. For me personally, labor and delivery was not the worst pain I've ever felt, I don't feel like. But I also got my epidural very early. My labor was really quick and it wasn't that bad. I didn't really have like a lot of contractions before we got there. I was very, very thankful my first labor and delivery experience went really smoothly because it was something I was nervous about because my mom and my sisters couldn't be there with me. So I'm glad it went well, and I'm hoping for the next baby that they can be there. So I just want to send positive vibes to everyone who's about to have a baby. It really is an amazing experience. It's crazy that something you create inside of you comes out and then it's yours, and it's like half you and half of the person you love. So I hope you guys enjoyed my labor and delivery experience. At the end of this video, I want to give a shout out to my mom. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me if you would comment down below how your birth experience went, if you're due, if you just had a baby, what'd you name it, how much did they weigh? I want to connect with you guys in the comments down below. Alright guys, thanks so much. Subscribe for more mommy content, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!